Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to solve 0478 IGCSE Computer Science Paper 1 Variant 1-2 of the year October-November 2023. Alright, it's a 1 hour 45 minutes paper. Let's begin. 0478 Paper 1-2 October-November 2023. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The first question here is asking you that malware can be used to corrupt data stored on a system. Tick one box to show which cybersecurity threat is not a type of malware. So I believe virus is a threat for malware, worm is a threat for malware, ransomware is a threat of malware. I think phishing is not a type of malware. So I can tick phishing. Identify one other example of malware than those given in part A. Apart from all four of these, you have to identify one other example of malware. So for that, you can say adware, the viruses you get from ads, and there's one more known as spyware. Okay? Yeah. Moving to the next question. Identify the type of software. In this question, it's asking you about the type of software. Identify the type of software that is used to find and remove malware from a computer. It will first find and then it removes the malware from the computer. So what are those types of software? Since for viruses you have antivirus, so for malware you have anti-malware. Okay, you can say malware, whatever it finds suits you. Anti-malware. All right. The next question is really easy. A register stores the binary number. This is an 8-bit binary, 1248. I did give the binary number for the binary number stored. Really easy. What you have to do is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 128. All right, so you just have to add only the ones which are on. By on means only those binary digits which have 1. So you'll count this value, you will count this value, you will count this value, leave all the zeros, only focus on the ones. So what you will do is this is the working space given to you. You have to show the working. You have to show in the working that 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 2 plus 1 will give you what? I don't think so you have a calculator allowed in this exam. So please do it by yourself and tell the answer. 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 2. You all have 1 minute to do it. 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 2 plus 1 gives you 227. Is your answer matching? It gives you 227. Yes? Okay. Now you have to give the hexadecimal number for the binary number which is stored. Hexadecimal is really easy. Hexadecimal number. You have to give the hexadecimal number for the binary number. It's talking about this binary number which is stored. First thing what I would suggest you to do is copy this number as it is down here. So if you're copying this number as it is down here, what is the number? It is 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1 and 1. I copied the same number as it is down here. All right. After that, I'm going to make a hexadecimal of 2. So I will put this in one box. I will put this in one box. Okay. So there are 2 sets. And then I will do the 1, 2, 4, 8 method. 1, 2, 4, 8. And then I will do 1, 2, 4, 8. This is the most easiest method you can solve the past papers in. So 3, this is 3. And 8 plus 4 is how much? It's 12. 12 plus 2 is what? 14. So this is 14. So what is the value of 14 in the hexadecimal table? 10 is A, 11 is B, 12 is C, 13 is D, 14 is E, and 15 is F. So we all know that at 15 it basically stops. At 15 basically stops. The hexadecimal starts from 10 till 15, 8 till F. So we have to focus on E. E is 14. So your answer will be E3. Your answer will be E3. This is not a time consuming method. This is a really easy method. You can do it quickly. Just make two sets. If you have an 8-bit binary, just make two sets and then find the denary value of one set and one set. Exactly how I did. All right. Moving forward. A logical shift of a logical shift of two places is performed on binary number stored in the register. Complete the binary register to show its contents after this logical shift. So two places is performed, and on what side? It has already told you, logical left. Okay, and what is the binary number? The binary number is 1100011. I'll write it here. 111 zero 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 11. Let's check it here again. We have 111 000 11. So I have 111 000 and 11. So if I am told to do the logical shift from the left hand side, what will be my final answer? My final answer will be 1 000 1 1 and 0 0. Logical left of 2. So these two ones will get cancelled and these two one will get cancelled. So you will cancel these two from here. Start the number from here. 1 0 0 0 1 1 till here. Copy it till here. And this 2 is cancelled. Basically, these two numbers are cancelled. So what will happen is the other two numbers, the other two zeros will get added on the right hand side. Logical shift left means the numbers will get cancelled from the left hand side. The numbers will get cancelled on the left hand side. The numbers will get cancelled. Logical left shift of two places. If the question was saying logical left shift of 3, then 3 numbers from the left hand side will get cancelled, and then on the right hand side zeros will be added. I hope it's really clear. Okay, now I will move forward to the next part.
Next question is saying that negative denary number minus 99 needs to be stored in the register. Minus 99 needs to be stored in the register. Complete the register to show the binary number that would be stored using 2's complement. Using what? Using 2's complement. And you have to show all your working. Okay? So first thing what we are going to do is, which like always we do, 1 2 4 8 16 32 64 128. What numbers will you add which will get you 99? 64 plus 32 I think gives you 96, 96, 97, 98 and 99. So the rest will all become 0 0 0 0. Okay, and one thing I have taught you that until and unless you see when you now we have to change this into 2's complement. In 2's complement, until and unless you see a 1, for example, if this was 0 0 1 and 1 was here, until and unless you see a 1, all the numbers will remain the same in the 2's complement. So the example I'm giving you is, if this was 0, if this was also 0 and this was 1, this would remain the same. And a 1, you see a 1 has you have reached till 1, so all the others number will become opposite. 1 1 0 0 1. So the rule is until unless you see a 1. So here at the first step itself we have a 1. So now you have to convert this into 2's complement. You have to convert this into 2's complement. When you convert it into 2's complement, it will become 1 as it is in the first stage, and rest everything else will be the opposite. Inverse it basically. 1 will become 0, 0 will become 1, 0 will become 1, 0 will become 1, 1 will become 0, again the 1 will become 0, and at the last the 0 will become 1. So this is your final answer. Okay. Now, if you have to check whether your answer is right, you need to get minus 99. Yes. Try doing this subtraction of minus 128 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4 and plus 1. Your answer should be minus 99. Your answer should be minus 99. So what is the answer you're going to store in the register is 1001 triple one and 0 and 1. All this for just 2 marks. Okay. Now, the number, this number 0 1 0 0 0 1 1 0 is added to this number. Add the 8-bit binary numbers using the binary addition. The rules of binary addition, I have written it down for you guys. 0 plus 0 will give you 0 in the answer, and 1 you will carry a 0. 0 plus 1 will give you 1 and you will carry 0. 1 plus 0 will give you 1 and you will carry a 0. 1 plus 1 will give you 0 and you will carry 1. And when you have 3 ones, 1 will be the answer and you will carry 1 again. So you have to do the binary addition. You have to do the binary addition. Now I will note down the numbers. 0 1 0 0 1 1 and 0 here again. Similarly, I will put 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 0 here, 0 here, 0, and 1 and 1. And I have to do the binary addition. What do I have to do here? Binary addition. Okay, let's try doing the binary addition. So what is the rule for 0 and 1? Or let's say, actually wait, I have done a mistake here. The number 0 1 is added. So which means this should be on the first hand side and this should be on the second hand side. 1 1 1 0 0 0 1 and 1, 0 1 0 0 1 1 and 00, because it says is added to this number using what? Binary addition. Now let's solve it. I am performing the binary addition here. Please listen carefully. 1 and 0 will give you what? Read the rules. Read the rules here. 1 and 0 will give you what? 1 and 0 will give you what? The answer will be 1. Again, 1 and 0 will give you what? 1. 0 plus 1 will give you what? Will give you 1. 0 plus 1 again will give you 1. 0 plus 0 will give you 0. 0 plus 0 will give you 0. 1 plus 0 will give you 1. 1 plus 1 will give you 0. 1 plus 1 will give you 0. And you will put a carry up. What will you do? You will put a carry up. So carry up will come here. Okay. So 1 plus 1 plus 0 will give you how much? If this is 1, this will also become 1. So 1 and 1 will give you how much? 1 and 1 will give you 0. So if you have 1 and 1 here, you have 1 carry. So that carry will come over here. So your final answer, which will be stored in the binary, is this. One, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. Simply, we just did binary addition. We just performed the functions of binary addition. These rules are really important for you. Okay, you have to show the steps. 1 mark for this is for 1 mark, this answer, and 1 mark for showing all this, 2 marks for showing all this, and 1 mark for showing this overflow error. If the number is not being fit into the bits, then an additional number is known as an overflow error. This is an overflow bit. Okay, but you still have to write it. Do not ignore it. You have to write it because there are marks for it. All right. So this binary addition table is really important for you guys to learn. You can take a picture or a screenshot to solve the questions. Number 3. Question number 3. A user has a central processing unit. A user has a central processing unit that has a clock speed of 2 gigahertz. She wants to change it to the CPU that has a clock speed of 3 gigahertz. What is meant by the term clock speed? What is meant by the term clock speed? Clock speed is the maximum number of instructions a CPU can perform. The maximum number of instructions a CPU can perform. Explain how will this change will have the performance of the CPU. How will this affect the CPU? Just simply basic two general reasons you can say is that it increases or it improves the performance. It improves the performance. All right. After that, it improves the performance. Why? You have to explain the effect. So you could say it improves the performance. It increases the performance is the same thing. Because why? Why do you say this? You have to explain why are you saying this. Because more fetch execute cycles. FDE stands for fetch executes. Cycles can be processed. Cycles can be processed in 1 second. Okay. Explain the effects will change how the performance of the CPU. It improves the performance because more fetch execute cycles can be processed in a second. All right. The next question says the CPU contains a memory address register. What is the name of the memory address register? MAR. Okay. Describe the role of the MAR in the fetch decode cycle. What is the role of MAR? It basically stores the address. Basically stores the addresses. All right. Of the next instructions which is to be fetched. Of the next instruction which is to be fetched. Okay, students, I hope this is clear. The CPU has a list of all machine code commands. It has a list of all machine code commands it can process. State the name of this list of commands. These lists of commands is simply known as instruction set. Okay, it is known as instruction sets is the name of the list of commands. Question 4. A washing machine is an example of an embedded system. Give two characteristics of an embedded system. What are the examples of embedded system? Does anyone know? One thing you can say, it performs a dedicated function. Performs a dedicated function. Okay, and it is a real time system. All right, it is a real time system. It does not require much power. You can also say it is very cheap. It is very cheap to manufacture. Very cheap to manufacture. The next part of the question, it says circle three other examples of an embedded system. Three other examples of an embedded system could be security light system, freezer, and a vending machine. Okay.
Question 5 says a band is recording their new song. They need to consider the sample rate and the sample resolution of the recording. You have to give one benefit of using a higher sample rate to record the song. So what is the one benefit? What is the one benefit of using a higher sample rate to record the song? You could say the recording of a song is more accurate. That's it. Just a simple definition. The recording of the song is more accurate. Is more accurate. One drawback of using a higher sample rate. See, if anything you're using high will require more storage. So you can say the file size will require more storage. The file will require more storage. All right, more storage space. And then the next question, if you can read it already, you have to describe what is meant by sample resolution. What is meant by sample resolution? Sample resolution is nothing but, you can say, the number of bits the number of bits that are used per sample that are used per sample and it determines I'm writing in points. It determines how loud the sound is or how quiet the sound is. How loud the sounds are that can be recorded. All right. So this is done. The last question says, if you can read again, what is meant by sample resolution? It literally asks you the definition of sample resolution, and you said that the number of bits that are used per sample. It also determines how loud the sounds are that can be recorded. For 2 marks, 2 points. You can frame it in a paragraph also, but please make sure to put the full stop and add another sentence. The next question says the band wants to compress the sound file, but they do not want any data to be permanently removed. One important thing they have mentioned here is that they do not want any data to be permanently removed. Identify the compression method that they should use. So one compression method that does not delete file permanently is lossless compression. All right, it's known as lossless compression. Okay, the table contains descriptions about data transmission. If you have studied about the chapter data transmission, then it should be really easy for you to answer these type of questions where you have these type of questions are really mark scoring. You have the descriptions, just have to answer what kind of method it is. Sometimes you also might have the method written and you might have to write a description. So it's pretty easy. They're already giving the big description which you do not have to learn. So just the method of transmission. So the first thing is the data is transmitted down a single wire, one bit at a time in one direction only. The keywords here are one bit at a time and in one direction only. So what could this be? This could be a serial simplex. Serial simplex. This is the data transmission method for this one. When data is transmitted down multiple wires, multiple bits at a time in both directions, but only one direction at a time. At once, only it will go towards one direction, but usually it goes in both directions. All right. So for this, you could say parallel half duplex. Half duplex. Okay. Duplex because it goes in both directions, but one direction at a time. So that's why duplex. The next one, it says data is transmitted down a single wire 1 minute at a time in both the directions at the same time. In both the directions at the same time. So what could it be? Serial full duplex. Serial full duplex. Data is transmitted down multiple wires, multiple bits at a time. Now, what's the difference here? Multiple bits at a time in one direction only. So this could be parallel simplex. All right, pretty easy. 4 easy marks to score. Let's move on to the next question. The next question says a train station has a ticket inspector who checks each customer's ticket before they are allowed to get onto the train. The train station wants a system that will allow tickets to be automatically checked. Identify 2 suitable input devices that could be used to automatically read the tickets. What are the 2 suitable devices which you think you use in daily life which automatically checks the details? Even if you take example of a supermarket, in order to find out the price or by entering the barcode, you just have that scanner. So what do you call that scanner? Barcode scanner. Here also we can automatically to automatically read the tickets. You could use a barcode scanner. All right, it's being used at he's checking the customer's ticket before they're allowed. So it wants a system. All right, so the answer could be a barcode scanner or a QR code, because now people often use QR code. Barcode scanner or a QR code scanner. Okay. Now, question 7, 6 marks question. The train driver pushes a button to close the train door when all passengers are boarded. The train door will only close when there are no passengers in the doorway. The system to check there are no passengers uses a sensor. This is a sensor and a microprocessor question. When the question is for 6 marks, it's basically it asks you to explain how the functions of microprocessor and sensors they are operated. Okay. So the question here says the same thing. Sensor and microprocessor are used to check whether the train data explain. You have to explain it. So what you can say, what kind of sensors are you going to use? You can say you're going to use, let's say, infrared sensor. Infrared sensor you're using is being used. Okay. What the sensor actually does is that the sensor continually sends data, and that data is in digital form. So you could say digitized. When the data is in digital form, it's known as digitized. Send digitized data to the microprocessor. To the microprocessor. All right. And then what the microprocessor's job is, the microprocessor, the job of microprocessor is to compare the data to the stored values. So it compares the data to the stored values. All right. And then, since it's for 6 marks, 6 points would be 6 points would be fine if you can write 7, or but it should relate to the question. Microprocessor compares the data to, to the stored values, and then the microprocessor, it sends the signal. Microprocessor, it sends the signal to close the door. All right, it sends the signal to close the door. Next point, which you can say, what is the device which is being used to close the door? You can say actuator. Actuator is used to close the door. Close the door. All right. And then one more point, I can say this process repeats. If one important point. Look at this. If it's not in range, the door will not close. The door will not close. The door will not close, and the process will repeat until the door can close. Now I think it makes sense. All right. I think now it pretty much makes sense. I wrote 7 points. They all make sense. First thing I said, infrared sensor is being used. The sensor continuously sends data which is digitized in digital form to the microprocessor. The microprocessor's job is to compare the data to the stored values, and then the microprocessor will send the signal to close the door. And then what is the machine which is used to close the door? That is an actuator to close the door. If that value is not in range of this value, this data is not in range, the door will not close. So if it is out of range, it does not match the signal. All right, so this process will repeat until the door will be able to close. All right, for 6 marks, you have to explain how the microprocessor and the sensor are used to check whether the train door can be closed or not. Question 8 says, draw an annotated diagram that demonstrates a cybersecurity threat of data interception. Pretty easy. Just draw one computer. Sorry for my bad drawing. Okay. And then it will go to another computer. Because since cybersecurity, obviously the data from the other system needs to be seen to. Or I could just okay. So data from computer A goes to data from computer B. All right. And in between, we have third party. We call it as packet sniffer. Packet sniffer. And that packet sniffer is basically nothing but the third party. It's the third party. Its job is to analyze, it analyzes data for anything which is useful. Okay. And packet sniffer, its job is to examine data. Examine data as it is sent from one computer to another. Computer to another. So this diagram basically explains, it's explaining that data is being sent from one device to another. The data is being examined. The data is being examined during the transmission. A packet sniffer is being used, and intercepted data or any data which is being intercepted is being used by a third party, and connection hack to spoof designation address. Identify one security solution that will keep data safe from data interception and state why it will keep the data safe. One security solution can be encryption. Encryption. Okay. What I can say about encryption is, if the data is being intercepted, if the data is being intercepted, data being intercepted means anything which is coming in between the data. It will be meaningless. It will have no meaning. It will be meaningless. Okay. Done. Question number 9. The table contains terms and descriptions about the internet. Complete the table with the missing terms and descriptions. What is the description? It says the collective name for all the web pages available. What is the collective name for all the web pages being available? www. World Wide Web. World Wide Web. Okay. A small text stored by the web browser that can store a user's personal data is when you have to accept the cookies. So you could say cookie. Okay. Uniform Resource Locator, URL. What is the description of URL? You could say it is the text base. URL is the text based address. Text based address for a website. For a website. Web server. What is a web server? It stores web pages. It stores web pages. The language used to create a website example texts are head and body. Oh, this is really easy when you have these kind of questions, when the example is given head and body and they're given in these symbols, and when they're given using these symbols like this. So these are example of HTML. So hyper text markup language. Hypertext markup language. You can also write HTML, but it's nice to write the full form so that the examiner does not cut off marks for you. All right, a protocol that is used to request and send web pages. What is the protocol? It is HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Hypertext transfer protocol, which you call it as HTTP. All right, pretty easy. These are the answers. Now, moving forward. A business has a system that is described as having artificial intelligence, AI questions. State one of the main characteristics of an AI system. The main characteristics of an AI system is the ability to learn. The ability to learn. Okay? Okay. An AI system is an expert system. An AI system is an expert system, and how an expert system operates. How does an how does it operate basically? Again, 6 marks questions. In 6 marks questions, you could say that how it has an interface. It has an interface. So with that interface, it is used to input the data and view the output as well. Okay. The next point which I could say here is that it is a knowledge base. When you learn about expert system, it is knowledge base. It has 7 rules, 6 or 7 rules. It is knowledge base. It has a rule base. Okay. And then it has an interface engine. It has an interference inference, my bad. Has an inference engine. Okay, so 4 points, 2 more I can write. It applies the rule base to diagnose the solution. Applies the rule base to provide the output. To provide the output. And decides what to ask next based on the input data. Okay. 6 marks questions are usually asked to explain the whole functionality and the mechanism. Expert system, how does it operate? Once again, I'm giving a summary. It has an interface. It is used to input the data and view the output. It is knowledge based. It has a rule based system. It has an inference engine. Okay, applies the rule base to provide the output. Decides what to ask what to ask next based on the data being input. A manufacturing company uses an automated system in its manufacturing process. The automated system uses a flow sensor. Identify what a flow sensor measures. What is the flow sensor measures? Any idea? It measures an amount of liquid moving through an environment. Moving through an environment. Moving through an environment. The next question was, explain one advantage to employees of using an automated system in the manufacturing. Automated system in the manufacturing can increase jobs. This is one advantage. You could also say that it increases safety. It means that the workers do not need to go into dangerous areas to collect the data. You could say that it increases safety. But the point I wrote here is I wrote that it increases jobs because employees are needed to maintain the equipment. For an automated system, while you're manufacturing, all the manufacturing, it talks about machinery. So to maintain the equipment and the machinery, we need employees. Okay. The next question says explain one disadvantage to the company's owner of using an automated system. So if you wrote an advantage, they're also asking you for a disadvantage. They're also asking you for a disadvantage. So what disadvantage you can say here? You can say that it will require high setup costs. It will require high setup or installation costs. Okay, installation costs. Okay, because the company will need to find a lot of money to make up for the front side to pay for the equipment. Okay, or if you guys want, we can take an easier one. This is the basic one. The basic one says high setup or installation cost because it would mean a lot to the company to find a lot of money and to pay for the equipment. So I can write the reason here saying that the company the company will need to find a lot of money will need to find a lot of money upfront to pay for the equipment. To pay for the equipment. All right. The company will need to find a lot of money to pay for the equipment, upfront to pay for the equipment. Digital currency can be used to pay for products and services. Digital currencies are often tracked using digital ledgers. Using digital ledgers. Give two other features of digital currency. You can say the main feature of digital currency is that it only exists electronically. Only exists. It only exists electronically. Yes or no? Yes. Exists electronically. And one more you can say, it is usually encrypted. It is usually encrypted. Fine. Moving forward, identify the process that uses a digital ledger to track the use of digital currency. It's a very common word these days. You guys might have heard it. It's called as blockchain. Called as blockchain. All right. Easy questions for 2 marks and 1 mark. Mark scoring. Moving forward to the last question. The last question is asking you storage and memory are important components of a computer system. Primary storage is one type of storage in a computer system. Tick one box to show which is an example of primary storage. RAM is an example of primary storage. Compact disk, CD, HDD, SDD, they are all examples of secondary storage. Give one characteristic of primary storage. It has both volatile and non-volatile memory. It has both volatile and non-volatile memory. Alright, students. Now, virtual memory can be created in a computer system. Complete the description about virtual memory. It's a really very easy question. The words are already given to you. You just have to enter it in the blanks. Some of the terms in the list you will not be used. Remember, all the terms will not be used. Okay? Some terms may be used more than once. The first line says virtual memory is used when the dash is full, when the RAM is full. So when the random access memory is full. When the random access memory is full. It is created by partitioning what? It is created by partitioning. This word is done, so I'm putting across by partitioning the hard disk drive. By the hard disk drive. This is also done. Data is divided into dash that can be sent from dash to the dash. Data is divided into pages. Data cannot be divided into hexadecimal. It cannot be divided into tracks, virtual memory. No, it is divided into pages that can be sent from RAM again. It is being sent from random access memory to the dash, to the virtual memory, to the virtual memory to be temporarily stored until they are required. Uh, Along with virtual memory, you could also use HDD. All right. If you want to use the word again, HDD, you could use HDD. Otherwise, virtual memory would be a suitable word here too. So that's the end of this paper.